lady down in that pond. She gonna come up and look at me. Do you see the sweat dripping off my face? Do you see it? It is hot. We're already halfway through August. I'm ready for cool. I've just come in from outside having to try to figure out how my goats got out. They were, okay, well, it's been a couple of times already I've showed y'all that they were up. I really need a sweat rag. I'm sitting at this table and I'm hot and I'm parched. I'm parched. Okay. So Steph came over. I was trying to take a nap. She come in and said my goats were out. When I get out there, I go change my shirt because I was still in my shirt from lunch. I wasn't planning to change or do anything outside. I wasn't. It's my off day, and I was trying to even take off from my own stuff until nighttime when I feed. That's all I was wanting to do today. So I stayed dressed because tonight is cooking with Dan and Lou. So I'm almost asleep. And the door opens and it's Steph. And she's dead in the goat's wrap. I'm coming. I'm going to change my shirt. Take my good shirt off. This pink shirt on. Heck, put some tennis shoes on because I don't know how far I'm going to be walking. Yes, Rosie. And I start out back. And when I got to, like, I could see Mary. She was in Buddy and Steph's pasture crying because she didn't know how to get back into her own pasture. And I look across at Steph's and I see one goat under the big pecan tree by her bees, and two are up eating on her loofah. And I was like, those are not my goats. And she comes from the barn and she goes, those aren't your goats? I said, those are not my goats. And she said, this brown one? And I said, those are not my goats. Those are Bree's. And I said, I don't even see mine. And she said, well, Buddy says they're in your barn. So at least my goats come to the barn. They come to the feed room section, which, you know, if I had a gate over that or door or anything, then they would probably move on around to the front and I'd be looking for them everywhere. But praise God, they went to the barn. And baby girl had her head in the whole bag of lay crumbles. It'd be great if she'd start laying eggs. She'll probably never give milk because I'm pretty sure she was fixed as a baby. She's never come in heat. And then Sam is in his side crying at me over through the fence like they do when it's time to eat. Frodo was outside the barn but standing at the gate doorway looking at me. And Gimli was on his knees inside the chicken because I usually take the big bags and then I mix half a bag and then half a bag of this and half a bag of that and then put it all in one of them big feed barrels. Well, he done knocked the lid off of it, was eating what little bit of chicken mix I had, which there wasn't much. They would have had to eat something else this evening because I need to go to the feed store tomorrow. So anyway, I walked that fence line. Buddy says he thinks they got into his part over by the bees again, where I guess Molly was the first one to ever push that. It was like on a post, but it didn't go very far over the post, and she pushed it till it kind of popped, and now there's an open. which we'd fixed it once, but evidently they'd done it again. And Molly could not have done it again because Molly has not figured out how to get where the goats go. She stays in my pasture. Anyway, I walked. When me and Bree got done doing that one section, she said she'll let me know when she's ready to, because I told her, I said, let me know when you're ready, because the next section is basically just separating her pasture from Bree and Buddy's pasture. And there are enough panels for that. There was purchased enough panels for the whole thing to go all the way to Mom and Dad's driveway. And she still hasn't done it. She's never called me. I mean, we've been busy on the house and she gets busy with other things. But I thought, well, wonder if they're getting out here. I wasn't really for sure. I was looking all, because I told her, I said, do you think it's that little section between my old fence and then the new fence? I said, there's a little, so she goes, she looked there. She doesn't think there's any way they're getting out there. It doesn't look like any evidence that they've been going through that section. So then I don't know, unless it's further up on the hill, maybe going toward Ellie's, it would have to be on our new fence. And then I thought, okay, well, one day they were in the pasture, in Steph's and Buddy's pasture, and I was calling them, and they came down to the corner where my fence is, and Buddy was like, and Buddy's corner fence right here, and they were trying to go under. And I'm wondering, do they have it loose enough that when they're messing around they can get under, but they've pushed it this way, but coming back maybe it's harder because it's pushed up. I don't know. I just couldn't figure out where. But I was burning up hot. I got them all. They're on my side, so I don't know. All I did was take a little bit of corn and throw it in a couple of those feeders, and Frodo and Baby Girl and Gimli just went on into their part, into the goat house part, out of the feed room. So that's done. Whether they get back over it again, I don't know. I might have to put some kind of a camera out there on that fence line and see if I can see them during the day where they're going under at. I don't know. Good morning. Right off the bat, something crawling on me. Waiting for Mom. I told her a couple days ago, I said, the next time we got to go out and about, we're going in your vehicle and you're driving. Okay, so these may be a little darker than the walls, and I kind of imagined, I knew they would be. This is more the wall color. Those are going to be kind of dark, but I would rather be dark than to have the bright white. And there were others you could choose from. There were some that even looked like you could stain them or paint them yourself. But when I when Amazon has something called Ask Rufus or Ask Somebody, and I put in that question, can these be stained? And it came back with an answer saying that some customers or some purchasers, split my fingernail, say that they would paint. They were easy to paint. Some said they were easy to stain, and others said there was a coating on them preventing them from taking a stain. So I was like, well, what if I get them and there's a coating and I try to stain them and it don't look good, and try to wipe it off, it won't come off good, then you got to send them back, and you kind of messed them up, or at least one, the first one you start trying to use. Hold on, I gotta get a fingernail file. All right, I found it. I do want to apologize to Karen. Karen, if you see this video, I have Mom's package. It's sitting right now at the end of the porch, and I'm going to make sure she gets it when I walk out to her car. I'm going to take it with me. The guy left it in the driveway, not up at a house or anything. He left it in the driveway in that vegetable bin thing that Steph has sitting out there. He just sat it there and drove off. And I was coming down the driveway. It was fixing to storm, so I just pulled over and grabbed it. If it had been for Buddy and Steph, I would have stopped right then and stuck it at their house. But when it said it was for Mom, I just thought, okay, I'll take it up when I go back up. And it has been in my truck for 3 days. So it's sitting out now. She knows I have it, but it's sitting out now waiting to give it to her. So I'll give that to her when she gets here. Whenever she gets here. She told me to be ready at 7:30, and it is now 7:45. I don't know how she plans to make it to this doctor appointment on time. And she's probably not thinking that at this time in the morning, when we try to hit 59 off of 99, it's going to be backed up for 1.5 miles of cars trying to get on 59 just like us. So, I don't know. And it's very hot and clammy out here already today. So today's plan, she's got an appointment, and then we're going to go to Home Depot and pick up what was supposed to have been ready last Friday that wasn't. And we also need to make, Steph thinks we ordered 1 gallon of the paint that's on the walls. She wanted 5. Steph thought they needed a whole, but she said it only has 1 coat on all the walls, which, I don't want to have lines on my, if I paint them and I think I see lines, but I couldn't see the lines. Not in all the rooms. There was a couple of spots in Lex's room that I thought, oh yeah, I can see like the wide taped mud joint through it. That was the only one, and Mom couldn't even see that. That's the one that got us in trouble on that video, because I had dropped my phone down with my arm to talk to her, and the whole time I was videoing my neck and my chest, and evidently that was offensive to somebody at YouTube. Anyway, that was the only place in Lexus, but Mom even couldn't even see that. She couldn't see anything. And then I thought I could maybe see some paint strokes in the hallway, that little short hallway. But regardless of that, we're going to go in and go ahead and get a second can made. That way Steph will have 2 cans to work with, touch-ups and stuff. All right. I never got really started on any project inside the house today. I unloaded I mowed my yard and stuff. Like when we got back with Mom earlier, I mowed my front yard, I mowed my backyard. I did all that because it said at 4 o'clock we were going to be in 95% thunderstorms. So I thought, well, I better get some stuff done now. Well, at 3:45, when I was in Mom and Dad's new little house, Mom was sitting there, Dad was sitting there, and I said, we're fixing to get some thunderstorms pretty bad. And Mom goes, oh, just like living in North Carolina. You could do anything you wanted in the mornings, but come the evenings, the storms would roll in. And then I pulled up my weather thing, and all of a sudden, it said a 15% chance of rain. No, don't storms. Storms are gone. Storms, and it's just as sunny as it can be out here. So, I don't know. That dissipated really quick. But I thought, well, I'll go around and I was going to get a picture of the outlet on there. Maybe I'll run back down and get a picture of the outlet. It's not the exact same color, but Mom and Dad still said that they liked it. So, no, we knew they weren't going to be the same color. You and I talked about that this morning. So, there's nothing I can do about that. They're not the same. I told him, I said, if you want me, I can undo the dark. Mom goes, no, I think the dark ones are pretty. It's like, at least you don't see a white square blaring you in the eye. You can kind of just look over it. And I said, well, I hate for it to be something you just try to look past. And she goes, no, I just mean it doesn't it doesn't make you stare at it because it's blending. I said, okay. So, that was pretty. But other than that, there were some, even though I walked around, y'all remember when I was specifically making sure, and I showed y'all how the tabs are on the side of the box, so, and you for 1/2 inch, you put them at the tab and all that kind of stuff. Well, some of them are perfect, and I don't know, did I not see very good because it was dark, because we had no lights? I mean, I don't really know. But some of them are perfect and the outlet covers go on them just perfect and they're just as flush as they can be. And some of them are too far into the wall. And I'm just like, dadgum. So I ordered, because Steph said she had some extensions. She didn't know how many they had left, but they had some. So I ordered this little pack of extenders. They don't match up the holes. The holes don't match up with, so I think this is something made in China or somewhere over there, and they don't match up to United States outlets, I guess. Anyway, I don't know. So I've ordered 15 1/4 inch, so they're just barely going to be, not much, extensions from Home Depot. And I haven't finished them yet because I just was like, I was getting frustrated. I was getting so frustrated. You know, it's like, I want to get stuff done. I don't want to have a day that there's just like a couple of things to do and then those things don't work out right. I want to be like I've always been easygoing. Oh, okay, don't do that, then I'll do something else. But there really wasn't anything else to do unless I wanted to drag out paint stuff and start painting. Alright, I had to come to my bedroom because my phone was almost dead. And he had the TV too loud, I could not think. So, I didn't go back down to Mom and Dad's. I would have gone back down if Steph had wanted to go paint. That way I would have just either went ahead and got out the blue and finished that room or whatever. I told y'all that I had not finished the order yet, but they are ordered now. So tomorrow morning, I've got to take back a drain kit to the bathtub because somewhere, somehow, a drain kit ended up over there at that house. I don't know where it came from. And I asked Buddy, did he order it, thinking that I forgot to order it? And he said, no, I thought that was for the sink. And I said, no. Then I thought, did I look at it wrong? So I went and got the box and opened it, and it is a drain for the bathtub. And I even showed Buddy how it works. And he didn't get it. So I don't know where it came from. Maybe it was something Daddy ordered for when they were going to have that other, when they were going to do a bathtub back before they went with shower. I don't know. I don't know where it came from. Nobody knows where it came from. It's just there. Praise God, it's there. I'm going to send mine back. So I've done the returns up online, but I have not found bags to put them in. So I'm going to send that drain kit back, and I'm going to send back those little extensions. And I've already done it all up. I've got my little barcodes. I just got to find some bags and seal them up. And I'll leave here at 8. Hopefully, because you can't pick up curbside till 9. I don't really want to get up and get gone earlier than 8. So, sometimes when you get to UPS, it's like the lines are crazy long. So hopefully, if I leave here at 8, I'll be at UPS by 8:15 or 8:20, and hopefully the line won't be long. And then it's just a couple of minutes over to my mind, Home Depot. If I want to just sit in the truck, then I'll probably just get me and Levi something to eat for breakfast, maybe, and then be there at 9 so they can bring it out. Or if I want, I'll be dressed because I've got to go into UPS, so I'll be dressed and I can just go in and get it from the lady at the front. But regardless of that, Steph said let her know when I'm home in the morning when I get, oh, Levi's got prescriptions I got to pick up, which means 2 different directions. One direction, Porter, then 30-minute, 25-minute drive, Cleveland. Anyway, she said that I said I'm hoping to be home by 10, and she said just to let her know what time when I get home, let her know I'm home, and then she'll go down at the same time. And then I will work on putting the extensions on all the outlets that need it, and then get a count if I'm going to need more or not. Hopefully I won't. It's very frustrating, them dadgum. I even told Dad, I said, I don't understand. I put all of these at the mark, just a little bit behind the mark. I said they should be perfect, and they're not. Some are and some are not. And I don't know if it, I already said that, but maybe it was because it was dark. You know, some of the rooms were kind of darkish, and I just didn't. Or, you know what, also, you know, you have to hammer them in. And if you're not holding it tight and you hit, you know, things will kind of bounce. Maybe few of them bounced over and I got them too far back, not realizing it. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows now? But what's got to be done now is extensions. So that's done. I found, praise God, a vanity that will recess into mom and dad's wall, into that little cavity there, so it will still stay centered under the light, and neither one of these studs have to be cut out. Praise God. But I also found a light that from the wall, okay, so it's on the wall, or the part that's got the nuts and bolts and stuff, that so it's attached to the wall, right? Then whatever light it is, you know, usually they have a couple of arms, and you know, it's just whatever kind of light it is. I think the one in my, how does that one look in my bathroom? I know it's oil rub bronze, but I think the lights just stick straight out. Oh, no, it goes down. I don't know what, they go up and back down again. Let me go up there. Let's see how they come up and back down. Okay. So the ones that I picked for mom from the bar in the back, they come, there's three, yes, three, they come straight out and then they hang down. And it hangs, basically the lights are hanging 7 inches from the wall. So if for some reason we decide not to recess it, which there shouldn't be any reason not to recess it, it should be able to recess. There should be no reason not to. Who knows what somebody will come up with, not naming names, but someone might not want to cut a hole in the wall. If it doesn't recess and it's just flush mounted on the wall, the lights will still hang over the mirror and there will not be a shadow for mom. So praise God on that. Praise God on that. So I have sent mom a link to that mirror, which is a Home Depot. And then I sent her a link to the vanity light, and I sent her a link to the faucet for the vanity. All of them in oil rub bronze. And I believe I sent her the link yesterday or the day before to the kitchen faucet. So I'm just I send her links to her Messenger, because with Messenger you can see when they have read it, and as of right now she has not even read those messages with those links to things to order. So I'm not going to push it. She kind of had a rough day with the doctor stuff this morning. Nothing serious. I'm just saying it didn't go the way she wanted at that doctor, so she's just going to go to another doctor because he didn't tell her what she wanted to hear. But it's not anything serious. You don't have to worry about anything. I don't want anybody thinking, oh my gosh, she got bad news for something. Oh my gosh, that didn't happen. She just wasn't happy with what he told her, and she thought she was going to use these people because they were in her insurance and her old doctor was not. But she said she's going to go to her old doctor that's no longer in her insurance plan, but she's going to go to him anyway because she didn't care for this guy. So it's no big deal. It's just she's not gonna, she was not happy today when she left the doctor's office. And once again, I'm gonna say it, some doctor did not give her horrible news or bad news or anything like that. You You know how when you go to a new doctor and all of a sudden they come in the door and maybe there's some kind of way they act and you're just not, you're already feeling you're not going to mesh with them right? She had that feeling right off the bat. I think it just carried on through the appointment, and when she got to the car, she's like, I'm just going to call my old doctor. And she started telling me what she thought the minute he walked in the door and blah blah blah, and he was exactly what she thought when he walked through the door. So well, I'm not gonna bother her today about things she needs to order. And so what else is there going on? It was cute because while I was down there, even though I really didn't do nothing because I'd gotten frustrated with everything, when I left to come home, it was because Connor called me and said he had some oatmeal for me to make. And I don't know if I've told y'all this before, but when he wants oatmeal, he comes to me. And it's instant oatmeal. It's cinnamon and it's brown sugar and maple and brown sugar, whatever it's called. That's what he likes. It's instant. It's little packets. You shake them and dump them. Pour hot water on them. He brings 4 at a time. And he says his mama, poor Steph, she cannot make oatmeal like Nanny. So he has to come to Nanny to get his oatmeal. Anyway, so he said, Nanny, I'm at your house. This is when I was down there. And he goes, and you're not here and I have my oatmeal. I said, okay, just wait there. I'll be there in a second. But I didn't get here as fast as I was trying to get to him because I had my feed still in the back of Mom's car. Did I already talk about it? You know, we cut up our videos and you kind of get a little bit here and a little bit there and a little bit here. And I talk so dadgum much. I know I do. But Cowboy Feed Store does carry the complete chicken feed that I've been looking for, that I like to get at Walmart. And I know it sounds weird that you get your chicken feed from Walmart, but they have Thomas More feed at Walmart. I was getting it in the 20-pound bags, and I've gotten it for I don't know how many years. I will get something randomly sometimes when I'm not planning to go to Walmart, or especially before Walmart started doing delivery, because Porter and New Caney were the only 2 Walmarts that carried it. So if I was just in Cleveland, I'd just, Tractor Supply. But recently they started being out of it. It's just out of stock. Every time you go in to I'll order a few groceries if they got my feed, and the feed's never there. So I thought, okay, so today on our way home, we went to the feed store and they did have it. And I know I looked silly in there, but I said, well, I'm saying I'm stuck. But let me tell you first, I said, look, well, it was funny to start with, because when I walked in, he said, your husband was just in here earlier today. And I said, no, not mine. I said, nope, don't think so. And he said, yeah, he was here early, got here before the store opened. And I said, no. And he said, I know you're one of the Morrows with the YouTube channel. And he said, Kim, catching up with Kim. And I said, yeah, but I don't have a husband. And he goes, you don't have a husband? And I said, no. I said, I've had 3 husbands. You're not giving me another one. And I said, you're not putting that on me. And he started laughing. He goes, what did he say? He goes, I thought it was your husband brought in. That's what he said. He goes, I thought your husband brought in roosters this morning. And he goes, that's not your husband? And I said, Daniel? And he said, yes, that's not your husband. That's my brother. And he goes, no. I said, so you're talking about Lou. And Lou does kind of favor all of us Mara women. So, but I'm not Lou. And he goes, yeah, I knew you weren't Lou. He goes, I guess I just thought Daniel was your husband. And I'm like, no, Daniel's my brother. God forbid I couldn't be married to him. he's too perfect in his mind. Anyway, but I told him, I said, look, I said, I love, my chickens love this feed, and it is a Thomas More feed, and it's called Complete something. And as I'm telling him, I see a bag right there, and it says Complete. So I walk over and look at it. I said, but this doesn't look like the bag I get. And he goes, you get it from Walmart, but a smaller bag? And I said, yes, I get a 20-pound bag. And he goes, he said, yeah, lots of people come in here looking for it. And he said, this is it in a 50-pound bag. And I said, are you sure? And I'm looking at it, but I said, I said, does this smell really good? And he goes, what do you mean? And the one guy said, do you think it smells like molasses? I said, no, it smells like spices. And he said, like spices. And I said, yes, it smells like spice, like different spices mixed in this feed. And he goes, well, I don't know if it smells. And the other guy, which is a new guy, and I can't remember what he said his name was, he's that guy, he said, we got a bag of that back here that got opened. And he said, so you want to smell it? And I said, I know that sounds weird, but yes, I would like to smell it. So I sticking my head down, but I didn't even hardly have to. First off, the bag was almost to the bottom, so I don't know if he's been feeding it to their chickens outside. Once it got opened, that's what he started feeding their outside chickens. But there wasn't much in it, so I stick my head down to it. But even though my head was like right at the bag, I said, yes, that's it. And then I went ahead and scooped some, and I was like, oh my gosh, yes, this is it. I said, don't you think this smells good? This smells like somebody in the kitchen just poured a whole bunch of different spices in here. I said, my chickens eat it like it's a snack, but they love it. And it is a lay. It's a complete layer feed. And it's got sunflowers and lay pellets, and it's got the scratch grains in it. It's like you don't have to buy anything else but that 50-pound bag. Although I already had lay crumbles from Tractor Supply, about a half a bag. So I went ahead and mixed them in my big feed trough thing. Anyway, that was funny. No, I don't have a husband. You don't put that on me. I don't have a husband. I don't want another husband. I've had 3. But anyway, I guess that's it. Steph got all them puppies to the vet today, but I'm sure she's got a video on that. Something happened there, but I'm sure she's got a video on that, so she'll tell y'all. So I won't say anything about that, but that was something good happened. Anyway, an actual 2 good things happened while she was there. One of them was just God had his hand in it all the way. Well, actually, God has his hand in everything, but one of them was just like a really, really God did it thing. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna go. It's literally almost bedtime, but I am starving because I haven't had anything since what I had this morning at 8 o'clock with Mom. And I'm so hungry. So hungry. And I hate to eat before bed, but I don't know if I got anything in there that could be I don't want to go make up a salad. I could eat a peach or a plum, but that's not going to keep me through the night. I'll wake up about 4:30 or 5 and be hungry. I could make me 1 piece of toast and drink a glass of tea. That might keep me for the night. I don't know. Kevin sent some crackers. You know, like the crackers and cheese and the cracker and peanut butter. It's a big box of all the different flavors. I could go get me a glass of tea and have one of those package of crackers. It's a lot of carbs before bed. I'm going to do it. So, I love you guys. God bless y'all. I will see you tomorrow. Katie, I'm trying to do a video.